Hi, everybody. My name is John DePietro.
And I'm Bob Zagami with the Camper Report Show.
Bob, on this Camper Report Show, my story is going to be a little bit different. See, right behind me, it's not a campground. We usually have like a campground or a resort or the mountains. I've got a location that RVers are going to find fascinating. It's called Buc-ee's, and we're going to give them a tour during the show.
Wow, I've heard of them, but I've never been there. So I'm looking forward to that. And I've got Trey Selman from the RV Safety and Education Foundation. We're going to talk about a consumer workshop that the foundation is putting on, and it's going to be in Elkhart, Indiana, and we'll tell you all about it.
Those stories, plus all the news of the day from our friends at RV Business and Woodall's Campground Magazine, coming up right here. Where, Bob?
At the Camper Report Show.
Hey, everybody, it's John DePietro. Welcome back to the Camper Report Show. As I said, I'm John DePietro, and the guy over there is Bob Zagami. We've got all the news of the day. And Bob, you'd have to be locked somewhere in a prison cell in a faraway country if you didn't know that the top news story of every different type of publication is gas prices. And you know what? There are some places that say that the summer is going to be slowed because of gas prices. But we've seen in prior years, certainly nothing like this right now. We don't want to minimize this, that gas prices have very little to do with, where RVers will go.
That's been the case traditionally, but we're in new territory, and we'll keep the politics out of it and just talk about the potential impact of the highest gas prices that we have ever seen. And summer's not here yet. The camping season is not here yet. We talked a little bit about it on our RVing in New England show last week. We talked every telephone conversation that you have with every campground, every RV manufacturer, every dealer is going to include some discussion of where do we go from here? Does it continue to go up? Does the conflict get hotter? Do other suppliers start shutting down the importing of the Russia oil as they announced this week? It's going to be a very strange summer, I think, for everybody.
Well, you know what? There's really two options. You can either forget it and just move on as normal. I really shouldn't say there's just two options. There's variations of that. And the second one is use your RV, but instead of going from the east to west or north to south or south to west, stay closer to home, because studies have shown that people need vacation. And whether it's in an RV or whether it's going to a hotel resort or whatever, but they're going to need that vacation, especially with all the pressure that's going on economically and in other aspects of our life, with just the cost of goods and services.
There's a big unknown this time around also. When you think about the amazing sales, over 1 million new RVs the last 2 years alone,
Yep.
Half of them going to first-time buyers who have never gone camping, who've never gone on a long trip, who are sitting home. Maybe they thought they were going to go cross country. They look at it. We don't know the impact of those 500,000 new people. Veteran RVers, no question. They'll go less, they'll drive less in terms of mileage, but they are not going to stop. And any of the forums that you saw, and our friends at RVing today did a survey this week, the same thing. People are going to go, but we don't know about that 500,000. Are they going to get scared about the industry? Are they going to keep it 1 or 2 years and put it back on the market and say, we don't want this? I think that's the biggest unknown that anybody in this industry today is
Absolutely.
got to.
And you know what? Time will tell, because every week, we almost have to bring this up every week on the show, because
Right.
It is a breaking news item. And, we would ask our viewers right now, let us know in the comments down below here on YouTube, let us know, are you going to be keeping your summer plans as, you predicted back in December and January, or are you going to cut back, or are you considering selling your RV? I'm thinking that very few people are going to consider selling it based upon the fact that the time that so many of the new people had to wait after they ordered, that anticipation of that vacation is way too overwhelming to get rid of it now.
Yeah. Well, the other thing too is a lot of RVers are sitting around the dinner table saying, well, we're not going to do this, we're not going to do that. Why don't we get a seasonal site and just, we'll drive the car back and forth rather than the truck and trailer or the motorhome.
Yep.
And that's a great suggestion. But
Yep.
the problem is on the other side of the fence, the campgrounds are having a discussion saying, why don't we eliminate a lot of our seasonal sites
and get
because
more
they make
retail.
more money on the daily traffic and the weekly traffic. So at the same time that people might be increasingly interested in destination camping, they're going to have a tough time finding it out. One.
And that's certainly true. The other thing that we're realizing that in every economic publication that's out there, whether it's Bloomberg, whether it's Forbes, whether it's Wall Street Journal, there's a story about something to do with the RV industry. And recently, RV Share was and Outdoorsy were both featured in Forbes and a couple of other publications. Talk a little bit about the ongoing widening exposure of the industry to the heretofore non-RV educated public.
Yeah, this is actually kind of exciting. I think there's people in the industry that may not like it, but I think that anytime we can introduce new people to the RV industry and the outdoor hospitality lifestyle, it's a good thing. And I think both of these companies have reached maturity and are very well known. So I think they're both on the trajectory to maybe not duplicate what Airbnb did, but to have similar success, a percentage of the same success. In Outdoorsy's case, they were recognized by Forbes for the third year in a row as one of America's best startups. They've just done everything right from day one. They've built a great portfolio and a great reputation. RV Share, on the other hand, just announced a partnership program with campgrounds where the campgrounds can actually list RV Share inventory. So as you look at it, you call up, if you're thinking about renting, say, a cabin or a tent or a yurt, then next to that you're going to see RVs that you can rent, and RV Share, the owner will deliver it to the campground. And they're going to be able to use that in their promotional material, and they're going to be able to earn commissions on any of the items that they sell.
And the interesting thing is that idea is not really new, because when we think of like Fuller RV Rental, which they primarily are a rental company, if you don't have a pickup truck, but you want to use that so-and-so trailer, the Fullers will drive it right up to the campground, have it all hooked up for you. And all the power, all the water, all the hoses will all be hooked up, and they'll have to do that. And it seems like more and more people want to have the benefits of RVing without necessarily the making the commitment to buy an RV. So you know what?
It's also not that this is not the original campground partnership idea, because Outdoorsy last year announced a similar type of program with KOA. So you can have similar things with KOA. So they've just, in this case of RV Share, they're going to have a lot of different campgrounds. Outdoorsy is with KOA. So yeah, it's going to grow and expand upon the ownership rental business through these sites.
And when we talk about KOA, Bob, we usually have our yellow shirts on, but we don't have our yellow shirts on. But I do have a yellow marker, and I think you have one as well. So it's not the right color of KOA, but it's still yellow. And speaking of yellow, but not necessarily yellow, but there we go.
Is that any better? They kind of
Speaking of green, Marcus Lemonis, the CEO of Camping World, just made a huge donation to his alma mater, which is Marquette University up in Wisconsin. Talk a little bit about that dollar amount. That Marcus.
A tremendous donation. He was actually a javelin player at the university back in 91 and 95. And I don't think we have to tell people how well he's done in the campground and RV business, but it's going to be, they're going to have a renovation of their library, memorial library, and it's now going to be known as the Lemonis Center for Student Success. And it's going across all curriculums and all courses that they have up there for them.
Yep.
and it's a great donation. I'm sure Marquette likes it, but it's a good way of giving back too. And
Yep.
it's another example. We have a lot of people in the RV industry who freely donate and give back. So it's great to see it. And he also, this is not for the consumer side of our audience, but he is also going to be on a panel at an industry event in May at the RV Hall of Fame. It's called the RV Power Breakfast. And this year they've got a panel of Marcus Lemonis, the president of General RV, Funtown RV, and Jeff Hirsch, CEO of Campers Inn. The four of them are going to be a panel. And Marcus does not do a lot of public events, but maybe we're seeing a little change because of the success of Camping World and all of the ventures that they have. And they were up to almost $7 billion this year. Maybe we're going to see a much more public appearances from Marcus over the next couple of years.
There you go. So
yeah.
Those are the stories that those are the news stories, courtesy of our friends at RV Business and Woodall's Campground Magazine. And we've got a great show lined up for you on this edition of what, Bob?
The Camper Report Show.
Stay with us, everybody. We'll be right back.
Mike here from RV Blogger. Don't waste hundreds of dollars on an external GPS for your RV. All you need to do is download the RV Life app right onto your phone. This app is so cool. It has RV GPS built right into it. So you can load all the specific measurements and weights for your RV. It'll give you directions safe for your RV to follow. And by the way, if you have RV Trip Wizard, directions for your trips upload into this GPS automatically.
All right, welcome back, everybody, to the Camper Report Show. And my guest this morning is Trey Selman, the Executive Director of the RV Safety Education Foundation. Trey, delightful to have you back on the show. Or have you on the show, because I don't think we've had you on the Camper Report Show before. Tell us what you're up to these days with the foundation, and we'll talk about some of the programs you got coming up.
Well, we're enjoying RVing too. I mean, we travel in an RV throughout the year. So my wife and Susan and I are doing that. So we've been in the Texas in the winter, and so we're fixing to head out. But our big focus this year is to really develop more content for the site. So we've been working on. We've got weigh teams that we've got trained, and so we've got them out working, and they'll be weighing at rallies. We've got a conference workshop that we're going to be working on this year, developing and extending even more, and then we're just working on different videos teaching videos that we're going to be doing.
Trey, for people that may not know about the foundation and the important role that it plays, number one, as a nonprofit educational facility, give us a 30-second overview of why it was founded and why it's so important to our consumer fans.
Well, going back 30 years ago now is when John Anderson, who was an RVer, recognized the importance. It was problems, I mean, a lot of times safety comes up when there are some issues, but it was tires. Tires have a lot of tire issues. And so he recognized, being a pilot, he recognized the importance of weighing RVs and seeing where that issue was. And so the foundation really started mostly as a weighing program and working with the RV industry and then the tire companies. It evolved over time. Another gentleman kind of was passed the baton, Walter Cannon, in about 1993, I believe. He started working for the foundation, and then he took over fully in 2003. And he took it a little bit further to work more closely with the industry, and especially the RV industry, RVIA. And so there's a good relationship working with them to build RVs more safely. But our primary focus also at that time became education. It was not just weighing, recognizing the vital importance of good, solid education for the consumer. And so that's really where our focus has been. We still weigh RVs. That's still a focus. Like I said, I mentioned earlier, we're doing that, but we also work with this last year. I was working with the National Tire Manufacturers Association, helping them with one of their publications. So we work behind the scenes also, trying to develop some of these standards and And so it's kind of multifaceted that we do.
Yeah, well, one of the benefits of being in this industry for a long time is John Anderson was one of the first interviews I did when I started writing for RV News back in 1996. And at that time, the foundation was called Away We Go. And
Away we go.
It grafted into the RV Safety Education Foundation. Consumers are a big part, and with all the sales of RVs out there, the shortage of technicians, there's a lot of challenges, and consumers have to take a lot of the responsibility, not all of it, but there is a personal responsibility when you make an investment in an RV. And
Absolutely.
You've got a great workshop coming up, and I know you haven't been able to do it for a couple of years. Talk about the foundation workshop that you're going to have in Elkhart on May 12th, and I'm going to say here, May 12th and 15th in Elkhart. Talk about that.
Right. That's where we have an opportunity to be able to take to work face to face with consumers. So they come in and we're able to teach them. We're able to take a little bit more time. It's there are a lot of opportunities to be able to get quick, short videos today, and that's good and fine. But sometimes to understand what's going on behind the scenes of your systems, of your RV, it takes a little bit more time. And so this gives us an opportunity to be able to do that in that workshop. So we're going to be going over, the electrical system, the plumbing system, water systems, propane system, to be able to help them understand a little bit more, a lot of the features that they have in there, but understand how those systems work and how they can better operate their RV so that they can enjoy it and not to be fretting about things. So we see a lot of fretting going on sometimes.
Yep.
And so we don't like to see that. We like to see the enjoyment, sitting in the chairs, enjoying the RV, and then just taking care of it, maintaining it properly. So all of those things.
Well, you're right. And the more the consumers understand about their RVs, the more fun they're going to have with them. Now, the location of the foundation is the workshop is going to be at the RV Technical Institute in Elkhart, correct?
That's correct. It's going to be, we have the privilege of working with the RV Technical Institute, which is the primary place where certification happens for technicians, RV technicians. And they've given us the opportunity to have the classes right there. So the beauty of that is not only are we able to teach some of these systems, but we're able to go out to and use all of the stuff that they've collected in their classroom. So we can go look at the systems. Everything's taken apart there. We can go look at different types of appliances, water systems that they have samples there. And it's just a wonderful opportunity to be able to see what's going on in there. Also having it in Elkhart, we have the opportunity, we're probably going to be, we're hoping, I should say, that we're going to be able to do some tours. So we'll be able to do that as well. And that'll be a little bit extra kind of tour because of what the workshop is. So some of the manufacturers there we're able to work with and do that as well. So it's a real advantage to be able to do it there, and I think it'll be a unique opportunity to do that.
It is, and also, I'm sure you welcome people who have not yet purchased their first RV. One of the beauties of having a workshop such as this is many people get excited about buying an RV, and then they buy an RV, and then they say, oh my God, all this stuff that I have to learn. But if they're in the process now of making their selections, what a great time to take a week's vacation, go to Elkhart, take the class, and on their own, go out and see, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 manufacturing plants of the companies that they think they may be doing business with. So this isn't just for experienced RVers.
Absolutely not. Throughout time, I mean, this workshop it's kind of an evolution of our conference that we've had in the past. It's really not that much different. It's just we're trying to make it a little bit easier to work over a weekend, for people's time. But yeah, having it in Elkhart is a great thing. We've had all kinds. We have the range. A good percentage of the people that have come in the past do not have RVs. And then we have some that have just purchased one. And then we have some that come back to the conference, multiple times to be able to get more, because, you know how all education is. I mean, especially when you're kind of, sometimes we joke about it's putting the fire hose up to your mouth and, and turning on turn it on the fire hydrant
Right.
whenever you
Right.
get that information at once. Sometimes it's just good to go back over it, and all of us understand that. Going back over things, we pick up stuff that we didn't understand before or see before, and you get other pieces of information that help you understand something new. And you sometimes, from an educator standpoint, we say, "Well, we talked about that before," but understanding how our minds work and how we accumulate understanding, it just takes time sometimes for
Well,
us.
when you look at many different industries, in the RV industry, we change a lot of things every year, whether it's an individual component, whether it's lithium batteries, whether it's solar panels, whether it's high-tech entertainment systems. There is always something, and that's always one of the challenges for technicians and dealerships to stay current. So they obviously have the responsibility, but again, the consumer taking the initiative on their own to go to classes like this are going to shorten that learning curve quite a bit.
Yep. We believe that as well. And you're absolutely right, especially now, or more recently with the changes in technology. And the RV manufacturers are integrating those things so much more quickly now. There are a lot of control systems that now control a lot of the different aspects of your RV systems, and those are being put in right and left. And so, yeah, you're absolutely correct that education is even more important today.
Yep, I would agree. Our guest this morning is Trey Selman, Executive Director of the RV Safety Education Foundation. Before I let you go, we got a couple minutes left, Trey. I know you're working on a new project of weighing trucks and trailers, and on the website, I've referenced a lot of forums. A lot of people check out your matching trucks to trailers video, but you're taking that up a notch now. Tell us about the new program.
Yeah, we've had a video for a while that kind of gives a little bit of an overview of matching a truck and a trailer. That's probably, it's not probably. I don't keep statistics for questions that I get asked. But probably, how does my, what kind of truck can I use with this trailer safely? And that's I say, well, I wish there was a simple answer. And there are some simple things to understand, but it does get a little convoluted sometimes. And so what we've done is we have that one video that we have for free, and it kind of gives an overview. But then again, some things, it just takes a little bit more time to go into some details. And so we developed a truck and trailer matching course on our RV Academy, which is our online training course, where we can take a little bit more time and do a little bit more detailed work for people. And we have some different courses there, driving safety, which can be helpful for your insurance. You get an insurance break. But this new course, Matching Truck and Trailer, takes a little bit more detailed approach to planning for and getting that truck and trailer match. For example, just the other day, I weighed someone. It was just 2 days ago. I weighed someone. They had a beautiful new pickup truck. And then that beautiful new fifth wheel. I mean, just a great fifth wheel that they had just purchased. And they've had it for a little over a year. And when I saw it, I went, because it was a single rear wheel truck and it was a pretty good size fifth wheel. And they were overloading the truck on the rear end of the truck. And it's just because that truck is just not quite enough for that trailer. And so it's always a little disappointing whenever I have to talk with someone about that. But we want to try to help get them before that happens. I mean, that's what we want to try to do. So,
and that you're right. That is one of the most important things to understand, whether it's a truck and a trailer or a motorhome towing a car. I mention it on all my seminars, and of course we've had you up to Boston and do your seminars at the Boston show.
Sure.
A lot of good information here, Trey. I'm delighted that you could join us this morning, and we'll get this up and have you up on the Camper Report show, and look forward to seeing you down the road. Maybe catch up to you in Elkhart someday.
So it's good to talk to you again, Bob.
Thank you. Bye now.
I'm Jesse from Outsiders Calling, and I love adventurous family travel with my wife Jenny and our son Tucker.
For over 3 years, we've RV'd across the U.S. and Mexico, and it's tough to find places that meet all our needs.
Now we plan our trips with the RV Trip Wizard, pull it up in the RV Life app, select it, and go.
It helps us discover amazing new places to grow together as a family.
RV Trip Wizard with the RV Life app is an awesome trip planning combination.
You can get both for one low annual price. Check out rvlife.com to learn more.
Hey everybody, we are just south of Jacksonville, Florida, and we are at an RVer's Dream. Maybe you've heard of it, they're kind of new, but it's Buc-ee's. And the cool thing about them is that there is tons of space to park your RV, and if you're getting gas, it's billed as the world's largest convenience store. But let's walk over to the gas pumps. So see, there's a set of pumps there and a set of pumps here, and I'm told that it is over 100 tanks, 100 pumps, 100 pump sites. So let's see all these people. Today is the Daytona 500. So to say it's kind of crazy, it's probably an understatement. It's Sunday morning at February 20th at 9 a.m. And here are the gas pumps. I'm gonna go over there if I can traverse safely. And see, there's plenty of room, tons of room, tons of room. We got diesel here, and it looks like diesel's just on the, no, looks like there's diesel here too. And the prices are pretty good. I forget exactly what it is. And if you're looking for a job, they're hiring as well. But we're gonna go inside in just a minute. So you see all the tanks here, 28, 30. It looks like there's 33 pumps on this. Oh, wait a minute, 33 just on this side, and 64 pumps on this side. See what I mean? See the number on the pump. It says 63 there. So there's another pump, so 64. Traffic is coming in here. And again, RVs everywhere. Look at, he's got his motorcycles, his electric bikes, his car. And by the way, they have ice. They have a few coolers of ice. And look at this. All that ice that's there. And look at the prices. The prices are ridiculously insane. And there's your ice. So it looks like there's a few coolers. Okay, let's go inside. And if you need a grill, they got grills, they got fire pits, they got wood racks and wood and chairs. And
That's exactly right. Yeah.
take a look inside here. Take a look inside here. They got clothing, and they got their own animal, which is a beaver, and their own line of clothing. In fact, look at right there. Amazing. You got your phone on? They got knockoff Yetis. Look at Yiko. It's just absolutely amazing. So this is all the shopping part here, but over here is, they have a men's clothing department here. I love beer. And they got food. Do they have food? Look at, this is the healthy section. Sir, you're in the healthy section. You know that? You're supposed to be in the healthy section?
Yeah.
You gotta get some fried chicken. Forget this healthy stuff. But that's the healthy stuff. And then there is jerky. I mean, jerky is not big in New England, but look at this section of jerky. This is amazing. My grandson Emerson is a big jerky guy. And then they got tacos, breakfast burrito, rhino taco, and they got fresh bakery. You can see them all working back there. All making spoons. And then they got, he's cutting stuff up there. Must be brisket. That brisket? That must be brisket there. So they got these sausage, biscuits there, and then they got cold drinks here, and they got more fruit over here. More fruit. Look at this combo. Those pecan pies. More vegetables. I mean fruit. And there's all the cold soda. And then they got coffee over here. All the coffee in about 1 million different kinds of flavors. French vanilla, almond joy. Look at this. Pumpkin spice, peach, mango, French vanilla cinnamon bun. And Tyler's doing a good job keeping this place clean. So here's your coffee selection. All the way down there, and then you got just that icy stuff, which I think is just slush, and that's that, and water, and no deal on water, $4 instead of $3, but that's that. And then you got cold stuff here for who people want cold stuff. And I thought it was a truck stop. It's not. It's a convenience store. And there's the Frito guy down there. But they got death fluid. You can see from one end of the store down to the other. Then there's the nut department. Over there. And water. Here's the convenience store part. The rest of it's just department store stuff. It's absolutely amazing. So that's a scoop. If you like this video, please consider subscribing. We got hundreds of RV videos, and it's John Petrie, and we are at Buc-ee's. Have a great day, everybody.